Littlest liked being a Commissar well enough, but it was a lot of work. You had to tell people where to go there! Tell people what to shoot, and shoot people if they didn't listen to you. Fortunately for Littlest, a bolt pistol and chainsword tended to command a lot of respect. Don't run, coward. Reginald here. With the fabulous buffs to the bolt pistol on the table, I figured it was time to make a proper Commissar build for it. Build name: Reginald's Cantankerous Commissioned Commissar. Intended role: frontliner and support hybrid. Fluff basis: Basic Commissar. Difficulty viability. This is good for Auric Maelstrom. I'd probably tweak it for Auric Maelstrom Monstrous True Duos if I wanted to do that with this, but for Auric this will handle it just fine. Weaponry: Cadia Mark 13G Assault Chainsword. Godwin Branks Mark 4 Bolt Pistol. The Cadia Mark 13G is a weapon I haven't yet done a video on, and that's largely because it's simultaneously better than the Mark IV and way more boring. It's a spam click weapon that you don't need to learn any combos on. Just literally spam lights until the cows go home. But I won't pretend I don't occasionally have fun with it, and its horde clear potential is nothing to sniff at. The Mark IV is a totally viable swap-in if you prefer it, but be advised it is a weaker weapon. You're also welcome to use a power sword as well if you want to keep with the theme, but prefer them. The Godwin Branks patterned bolt pistol is thematic and is also a solid specialist sniper with good flex into shooters and pretty impressive unyielding and monstrosity damage. The main thing to keep an eye on is not getting too indulgent with shooting it. It's fun to shoot, but it doesn't have the ammo supply for constant blasting. Oh, and by the way, the mastery skin for the bolt pistol has better iron sights. You're completely welcome to swap this out for a good Mark II las pistol with Infernus and Dum Dum if you like. Curios. I still haven't bothered to optimize my Curios on Vet, despite it being my second most played class. Plus 3 stamina is a must for a melee build like this due to the longer dodge regen and stamina regen delays on Vet. I like to stack plenty of ability cooldown reduction since it's the key sustainability. If memory serves, the plus toughness Curios are best on Veteran, but I happen to have a 21% health on this particular build. Blessings and perks. For the Mark 13G, I specifically chose Wrath and Rampage because they are simple and reliable into hordes with all the spam you are doing. I took Flak to aid in eliminating bruisers and the odd shotgunner. Unyielding is because I hate bulwarks and I can't always guarantee I'll be staying out of melee range of monstrosities, but you certainly don't need it. Unarmored or maniacs are both viable choices depending on your tastes. For the bolt pistol, I am using this weapon specifically and predominantly for monstrosities and specialists. Puncture and surgical, along with some talents, will net you some remarkable monstrosity damage when paired with the unyielding perk and the maniacs perk, as mentioned in my tutorial on this weapon. And puncture combined to secure easier kills on a few key targets like trappers and dogs, especially should you miss a headshot. Key talent nodes. This build is a relatively traditional weapon specialist build. You can move a few points around to your taste, but something like this is more or less fine. The key nodes that make this build work are Confirmed Kill, Shredder Frag Grenades, Survivalist, Demolition Stockpile, Voice of Command, and Duty and Honor, Tactical Awareness, Iron Will, Bring It Down, Onslaught, Trench Fighter Drill, and Weapon Specialist. Precision Strikes is too good not to take since it also applies to melee headshots. You can drop Onslaught and the connecting node if you want, but you really need to pick up Rending Strikes if you do this, or you'll lose out on too much damage. I chose Onslaught in this particular build because it applies Brittleness, which is a debuff to enemies and thus benefits the team. You can take off either for the Emperor or Close Quarter Kill Zone if you want to move that point somewhere, but both do stack and you get some nasty ult buffs if you do this. Playstyle. This build is designed around moderated frontline play and is predominantly melee oriented. By moderated, I mean a little bit cautious, don't overcommit. There are some buffs built into this as well, like the overshield toughness and brittleness effects, but this is not a buffs first kind of build. It's a frontliner build. Your chainsword is your main weapon of war, and your bolt pistols for quick snipes, monstrosities, and shooter flex. It also serves as a quick draw refresh on your attack speed buffs from Weapon Specialist. I did not take Always Prepared because that is a convenience pick, not a requirement. Yes, it is actually incredibly nice. No, it is not necessary to have. The bolt pistol reloads quick enough, just try to remember to keep a few rounds in the mag for refresh before diving into melee. For monstrosities, try to get some space, pop your ult, and ADS headshot as much as you can, and watch the damage scale. Or you can do it right at point blank range and just use your ult to stagger them. You can always chuck a few shredders for stagger if things get dicey, and melee if you have nothing left. Oh my god, there's gas right off the door. I chose frags here instead of crack grenades specifically because the bolt pistol doesn't make a very good frag grenade. It's not like the bolt gun in that way. Instead, shredders will give you extra space if things get too messy. Tips. There are 2 key tips I have for you that will help quite a lot. The first tip is that while a bolt pistol can 2 to 3 shot a burster, puncture puts bleed stacks on it, and the bolt pistol melee does do small amounts of damage. It is generally unwise to shoot them, even if it is fun. Don't be like me, and don't do this. The second has to do with lethal proximity. Some people really like this blessing as a sort of local horde stagger. I get it, but you do not need it in 90% of circumstances, probably less. If you need your projectile to detonate so that it will stagger the stuff around you, just shooting something slightly farther away from you so it staggers what is in front of you, or just shooting the ground a few meters off, is a perfectly viable solution. You don't have to waste a blessing slot on that. It really is that easy. With that, that's everything for this build guide. Thank you all so much for visiting, and bye-bye. I'm now one-shotting them.